Hello, welcome back. Mm, I have another video today about healing, and I'm really excited to share this with you. And what's been coming through for me in meditation is this concept of knowing doesn't heal us, it's going through the motions and allowing that does. So, what do I mean by that? Well, we can know what we need to do. Like if we take it to a simple, eating healthy foods, sleeping a certain number of hours at night, drinking water, just some basics around health, we can know that we need to do those things. But knowing them doesn't actually change anything in our lives unless we are doing them and allowing them to become our healthy habits. Yeah. So, from an emotional healing standpoint, it's the same thing. Like knowing that I need to have boundaries isn't helpful unless I'm actually applying the skills and setting healthy boundaries. And sometimes those are boundaries with ourselves, like how much I allow myself to give energy to certain activities, like watching YouTube videos, or how much wiggle room I have around what time I choose to go to bed so that I can get enough sleep at night. Or boundaries of how often I treat myself and have foods that may not be the healthiest choice, but that I enjoy consuming. And all of that to me is practicing self love and self respect. And the more we allow that to become our foundational blueprint, the more we attract healing to us. And from my experience, when we are spinning our wheels because of something significant that happened from something traumatic, and for those of you that know me, you know a little bit about my story. And for those of you that are new here, I've had a few different journeys, but most recently, the traumatic experience that I've been recovering from was a motor vehicle accident. Sorry. And I had lung and brain injuries and some minor stuff to my cervical and thoracic spine. I guess my whole spine, was affected by it, among some other minor injuries. And what's interesting is this whole concept of stress, that whatever is unresolved, whatever wasn't healed from the last time something traumatic happened, it's almost like going through a traumatic event reignites all of those fires again. And it's like, oh, she's going to pay attention now. And you hear all of these different unresolved aspects of your life being like, but what about me? And what about me? Are you going to close the loop on this now? And it's so interesting how our minds operate. And we were talking about this in the training I was in this weekend as well. But this whole idea of stress invites the mind to focus on any of the unresolved matters in our life, and it sends us on this loop. And if there's no resolution of that, our mind like literally creates a problem for us to solve. And if we leave it and let it just run its dialogue, it creates a deeper groove, and you almost have like an LP record where you're like, oh, it's this old song again. And it'll just play the song until you move the needle. Yeah? Or change the record. And how do we change the record? Close the loop. And to me, this is something that you can learn, you can know. And then if you choose to apply it, will literally change and shift so much on your healing journey. So here's an example for you. I have had experiences with relationships. So like my husband and I split up. I've been divorced for like 11 years now. And after the car accident happened, I had just gone through a breakup with my partner. We were not married. And it was almost like when I went through that breakup, my mind, like, and this might be something familiar for you too, that just naturally replays every time you've been in a relationship that ended. And it's like, oh, remember this and remember that. And it starts to just like pile on. It's like the dirty laundry basket that just keeps piling until you do the laundry. And what if the laundry, I don't know where this analogy is coming from, but I'm going to go with it. What if the laundry is literally you just saying, well, that relationship served its purpose. It taught me this. I learned this from that experience. And then I moved on to a new experience that was more aligned with me. That is like a simple closing the clasp on your necklace, looping that up so that your mind can be like, oh, problem solved. I don't have to keep replaying this same song on repeat because she got the message. We can move on to the next problem. And the next problem might be the next relationship that ended. And you might have to go through a few of those before your mind finally lets it have some peace around relationships. Yeah? But if we keep in that loop, if we keep replaying those old stories, from my own experience, what happens is we start to invite those experiences back into our life where we get to replay out the scenario. And it's almost like we're desperately wanting to resolve, to heal whatever the issue is. And so we start to project it out there so that we have another chance to heal it. Like you might start to notice the deeper you dive into this stuff that, you know, your boss is exactly like one of your parents that you had a challenging relationship with, or a sibling. You might notice that your teacher is exactly like your husband or your spouse or whatever. Or you might have a colleague who treats you just like your sibling did, or your spouse, or your child may have very similar tendencies to one of your parents. Like it's almost like these things replay on repeat until we learn the lesson, which is a closing of the loop. And sometimes the learning of the lesson is sifting through the dirty laundry to find the one thing that you really need to wash. And be like, okay, well, if I wash this, I can worry about the rest of that stuff later. And then it sort of just becomes one easy load that you do later, and everything's clean and you get like a fresh start. So if this is making sense, I would love to hear from you in the comments. And the basic message that I'm sending you here is knowing is great, and it may be the first step on your healing journey, but until you really start to allow the practices into your life and take aligned action to close some of those loops and allow the healing to actually happen, sort of playing the same song on repeat. And again, I am so grateful that you're here. And if you find these videos, the content of this video, useful, I welcome you to subscribe to the channel. If you like this video, it will reach more people, and it would absolutely really light up my heart if you would share this with someone else who you sense may also benefit. I deeply appreciate your presence. Even though I can't see you, I feel you. And I am so honored to be able to connect with you in this way. And I hope that you come back to check out another video on this channel. And if you're interested in deepening with me, I do have a Play Shop series that starts actually on Monday, on July 11th. And the first 3 sessions are Spirituality 11011. And we will be diving into feeling navigation, spiritual attunement, and the spirituality of sleep. So if those are things that interest you, send me an email. My email's in the description box, and I'll share the details with you. So much love, and so many blessings to you.